Should you buy a USA Fender? Well, not necessarily, because the guitars that are coming out of Fender's Mexico factory at the moment are some of the best I've ever played. For one, they're cheaper, and if you choose the right model, you are actually getting USA Fender specs. I mean, who's going to say no to that? Hey everyone, my name is Chris Harvey. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I post weekly content every Tuesday about all things guitar related, helping you guys navigate the wonderful world of guitar. If you enjoyed this video and you find it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new around here and you're only checking out my channel now for the first time, then consider hitting that subscribe button. So yes, admittedly I am a bit of a Fender fanboy. I've owned quite a few over the years, from my first ever proper Strat, which was a Mexican Fender that I had way back in high school, to then my USA-made Telecaster, which I sorely miss after letting it go a few years ago, and my main guitar for the longest time has been a USA standard Strat. But my most recent acquisition was the Fender Vintera 50s modified Telecaster, which is made in Mexico. But how does it compare to the USA Fenders that I've owned, and still own? Why is it that I've decided to buy a guitar that's made in Mexico? Well, let me tell you. Now, a conversation with Thorn, who is the principal master builder at the Fender Custom Shop. I'll link the video down below so you can go and check it out, but it's a really interesting interview, and basically the interview details that the main differences between USA and Mexican Fenders are often more in the finishing than actually the manufacturing and the materials used. Now, if we go back in time a bit further, there were differences with the USA Fenders and the Mexican Fenders, often using different woods in their construction, but it seems with the Mexico factory upping their quality, upping their manufacturing processes, and due to the availability of materials, I think that gap is definitely closing, and you will certainly see crossover between USA and Mexican guitars. If we take my 50s modified Vintera Telecaster, this is available in either an ash or an alder body. And if we compare that to the entry-level USA Fender, which is the American Performer series, then that is also available with an alder body. So there's no difference in woods. Now, you might find that in the USA and certainly in the custom shop that they might use fewer pieces of wood to construct the bodies, but how much difference is that really going to make? And is it really worth paying, in excess of maybe $300 or $400 for that particular USA guitar? I don't know if it is. And yes, with the American Fenders, they are often constructed with 22 frets, whereas the Mexican Fenders will often only have 21. But again, guys, it's one extra fret. Now, in all the years that I've been teaching guitar, and whenever I teach beginners and those who are maybe just getting started on their guitar journey, and when they say that they're ready to take a leap into buying their first, real electric guitar, I always recommend that they pick up a second-hand Mexican Fender. For me personally, if you were going to ask me where is the value proposition in Fender, I would definitely say that it is in a second-hand Mexican Fender. I don't think you can get better, especially if you're going to be going for the Vintera series, which I definitely recommend you check out, because this vintage modified Telecaster that I've recently bought, I did buy it second-hand off Facebook, and I paid £550 for it. You'll remember at the start of this video I mentioned if you purchase the right model that you'll actually be getting some USA specs, and that's certainly the case with the Vinteras. If we take the pickups for example, they were designed by Tim Shaw, who is a really critically acclaimed, well-renowned pickup designer and manufacturer. So to have him on board, making a Fender custom shop bridge pickup and installing a twisted telly in the neck, I mean, you're getting some serious pickups there in a Mexican-made guitar. If you saw those pickups in a USA custom shop guitar, you wouldn't be disappointed. So if really the only difference between the USA and the Mexican Fenders are things related to the finishing, then I really don't think there's much merit in spending an extra $500 to get an American guitar, because that $500 you could spend taking your Mexican guitar to a luthier, getting the frets dressed and maybe getting them filed, and then, hypothetically, you've got yourself a guitar that plays just as well as an American Fender. So 100% take your guitar to a luthier, get them to do some work on the frets, and then all the change that you'll get out of $500, just spend it on a few pedals and have some fun. That's certainly what made me go for the Vintera series, because as soon as I played it, I couldn't tell that I was playing a Mexican-made guitar. I remember fondly my USA Telecaster, and for this guitar, I can't say that it plays worse. I definitely feel a real comfort with this. The neck feels great, the pickups sound awesome. So there's real value there for me. And if you want to talk about my USA Strat, well, I've had this guitar for 2 weeks and I've barely taken my Strat off the rack. So I think that says a lot. So to summarize, I definitely think it's more difficult now than ever before to separate USA-made and Mexican-made Fenders. There's so much crossover, and especially if you're talking about, you know, top of the line Mexican versus bottom of the line USA, it often makes more sense to go for the Mexican-made guitar, because quite often it probably will be better value for money. So where is the value in USA Fender? Well, I think if you certainly start looking at kind of top of the range or even into kind of custom shop and master built Fenders, then there's definitely a lot of value there if you have the money to burn. With the custom shop having so much room for customization, and if you really want a special instrument that is a bit more one of a kind that's going to stand out, then yeah, totally there is value in the USA Fenders. But if you're just looking to spend money on a guitar and you've got maybe around £1,000 to spend or $1,000, then yeah, it's a tough decision. And really, I think Mexican Fender is probably the way to go. I hope you found this video helpful. It's definitely something that I wanted to talk about on the channel since I picked up my Mexican-made Telecaster, and since I do have some USA Fenders in the collection, and given that I've had experience playing them in the past, I think I've got a definite point of comparison there, and I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts, because if any of you guys are having a dilemma and you're not really sure what you should be buying, then yeah, I understand your dilemma. And I think if you check out the Vintera series from Fender, then you're not going to be disappointed. As always guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all next Tuesday for another video. Take care guys.